Dear buyers, make the offer. My name is Mariam Hejazi. I've been helping people buy and sell residential real estate for over 12 years, and I have been loving Houston since 1987. Let's get into it. So, I'm not sure if you know this, but just in case you don't, as of August 2025, Houston is officially a buyer's market. Most of Texas is also a buyer's market. Most all of Houston is a buyer's market. Now, there are pockets of town, there are small, specific neighborhoods in Houston that are still really favoring the seller, but most of the city is a buyer's market. So, if you're thinking about buying in the next 1 to 6 months, first of all, call me. But secondly, here is a list of things to think about and a few things to expect. And it's a little bit of your to-do list if you have no idea where to start. So, first and foremost, you need to find a realtor and an amazing lender that will explain everything to you in a way that you can understand until you fully understand it. Now, lenders, they have their own financial speak, and some are really good at explaining, and some are not. Some leave you in the dark, some don't communicate well, and some are amazing communicators and really great at explaining things in a way that makes sense for you, especially if you are not in real estate or in finance. So, partner with a great lender, get qualified, figure out how much house you can afford, and you really need to have this qualification letter in hand before you ever go look at houses. So, know your cost. You can have your lender look at a couple price points for you. So let's just say your price point is 1 million. You need to look at your cost at 1 million, but maybe look at it also at 1.15 and then also maybe at 900. So you can see what those different payments look and feel like. You also need to be wary of tax rates in specific parts of town and cost of insurance because taxes and insurance will blow your payment out of the water. Um, Most parts of Harris County are 2.53 on the tax rate, but some parts, like West U, are as low as 1.7%. Some of the villages are at 1.9%. The older parts of town, anything developed really before about 1970, will have a higher likelihood of having a lower tax rate. The newer the area, it's highly likely they have a higher tax rate. Like Summerwood out in the Kingwood area, which is outside of Beltway 8 on the northeast side of Houston, they have a tax rate as high as 3.6%, which is like crippling for some buyers. So make sure you know about tax rates and your insurance, your cost of insurance. And if there is a house that you really, really love, before you make an offer, you need to ask your amazing lender to run the numbers on it. And if you want to verify the cost of the insurance, you should also ask your insurance provider to give a rough estimate on your monthly cost of insurance, just so you know what your payment looks like. Because if you get into option period and you get your insurance quotes and they are triple what your lender estimated, then you might end up in a very sticky situation where you have to terminate on a house that you may have already fallen in love with. Let's see here. Submit a complete offer. Don't have your agent or make sure your agent knows what they're doing. They need several years of experience, not to mention maybe over a decade of experience. Make sure your offer is complete and well written, and it is accompanied by either your proof of funds if you're paying cash or your pre-qualification letter from your lender. And it would be amazing if your lender would also call the listing agent to vouch for you as well. Most of the lenders I work with do this. Do not submit a verbal offer. As a listing agent, that is so annoying. And why would anyone waste their mental energy on a verbal offer? We don't know how many days you need to close. We don't know what option period looks like. We don't know if you have a financing contingency. We need the whole picture of the complete offer. So don't submit a verbal offer. Be realistic during your option period. Option period is also synonymous with inspection period. Do not go to the seller with an itemized list of 25 things that you want fixed. Go to them with your top 4 to 5 things or a reasonable dollar amount. If you go in way too ambitious, you run the risk of the seller just saying, no, send me your termination. You need to remain realistic because remember that the seller is a person too, and although they want to sell their house, not all sellers have to give it away, and not all sellers have to say yes. So when you remain kind, courteous, cordial, and productive with the seller, you have a way higher likelihood of achieving your goal. I cannot tell you, not one time ever, that I had an agent that I was working a deal with where the goal was achieved by them being mean. I can't. It doesn't happen. Mean people in this business don't really have a high level of results. It is so much easier to just be kind and courteous. So remember, the seller is a person too. And I know you want a deal, and I know it's a buyer's market, but just be kind. You would be surprised what kindness and a thank you and gratitude will achieve in a tough deal, especially if you need an extension on closing. Also, I just want to talk a little bit about this buyer's market, and I want to encourage you to make the offer. Make the offer. If your price point is $1 million and you love a house that is 1.15, make the offer. Make the offer. If your price point is 500 and you're in love with the house at 550, make the offer. You never know until that seller sees a complete written offer in your pre-qualification letter or your proof of funds. You never know if they're going to say yes. If you are at 3 million and the house that you love is 3.25, make the offer. Especially if the said dream house has been on the market more than 90 days, then you should make the offer. Do sellers enjoy low offers? No. But you never know what that seller's circumstance or motivation is. So you should at least make the offer and see if we can't get a conversation started. Now, if the house is $1 million and you want to offer 700, then maybe you should look elsewhere. I think that that is too far off. However, I have seen the craziest things happen in this business. So I would just like to encourage you to make the offer and see what can be achieved with a little bit of conversation and hard work. Now, for a seller to take a hit on their sales price, it is going to largely depend on their motivation. Where are they going? How long have they owned this property? How much money they have in it? And do they have to sell it? And if there is a perfect storm in any of this, they might actually say yes to your low offer. I have helped people over the years achieve great things when they're buying houses. So if you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, share. If you think I left something out of this video, then comment below and let's discuss. And if you need help buying or selling in Houston, specifically older homes and anything to do with estates or elderly care, I am definitely your girl. My name's Mariam Hejazi. I've been helping people buy and sell residential real estate for over 12 years, and I have been loving Houston since 1987, and I shall see you on the next one. Bye.